Hello everyone, this is Ross from Retro Dream Beam. I'm an eBay seller full-time. I've been doing this with my fiance Nana for more than 3 years now. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm about to go into what we're shipping out today on Friday. I didn't look at the numbers, I was just pulling the stuff. I was super busy yesterday, excuse me, listing super late, but it looks like a good amount of stuff and some interesting stuff to talk about. So the first thing is this Kid Demon right here. This is gonna be one of those Marvel cards. This was a weird case because the person kept messaging me and saying like we don't ship to whatever state they were in. I had to like remake a new listing. I think there was a time when I was listing cards where I would do the eBay standard envelope because this sold for $2.50. But then I would have like the dimensions not proper, and you have to have proper dimensions for the envelope. At some point, it allowed me, I think when they first introduced the system, it allowed me to like actually still post the listings. Now, when I go back into these old listings and then I have to change them because the dimensions on the envelope will be wrong. I think I had like 2 inches by 2 by 2, so which is not an envelope size. So yeah, I do normally keep track of properly listing stuff. I just must have been listing cards a couple years ago, maybe 3 years ago at this point, and I was just in a different mindset doing it incorrectly. So had to make a new listing for that person. All right, next up is going to be some Kaijudo decks. Or no, yeah, Kaijudo decks right here. 3 of them. It's 2 of the green one. I think this is the person that's been picking up the other Kaijudo stuff from us. There's also 1 water deck here. This is going to be a game that's not around anymore by Wizards of the Coast. You pick a little color faction. So this is green. It's supposed to represent like the forest for Magic the Gathering, and then the water is supposed to represent the islands. It plays very similar to Magic. Wizards of the Coast bought the rights from Duel Masters, but then at some point they stopped supporting it. 3 demo decks, and then they also bought 3 of these Lucario Pokemon sleeves. I think they just bought these because they were probably a cheaper amount of sleeves. Each of these packs in Pokemon have 65 sleeves. They come in the Elite Trainer boxes. So they spent $31 for that combo order. I do believe, I didn't 100% check, but I'm pretty sure I remember that name. We've been shipping them Kaijudo stuff. So they're probably having fun and getting more people into the game. So I know the booster packs and actual randomized stuff are a little bit more expensive. I'm not too sure about like bulk lots of cards or the booster packs. It's been a long time. I remember I did sell some booster packs for a good amount of money, but that was a bit ago. I don't know where it lands right now. It's probably still expensive because the game's not being made anymore. Moving along, we have a bunch of these die-cast police cars. Got them from a storage unit flipper that ran into a person that liked police stuff. A lot of these are going to be Chicago or Illinois, and then I think one of the lots was just like the last bit of remnants I had. So this one's also going to be Illinois, like state police ones. I think these are Crown Victorias, and then this last one right here with the gold one. This was just literally like the scraps of what I had left. I've been selling a lot of these recently. These end up going for $39 for all of them. They are pretty good quality. I did make like good lots and had nice pictures for them. They're like a good material and stuff. Bigger size one too. Some people like the bigger size to display them more. All right, moving along. Haven't sold this kind of stuff in a long time. We do have some listed. We used to do a lot better with this stuff, like the home decor. Not as much anymore. This is going to be like a pig right here. Sorry, I have this like crunchy plastic cover on it. I try to protect this stuff as much as I can. This one didn't go all the way around, but I would have done it differently now. This is an old listing. But yeah, someone's going to hang this up probably in the kitchen. There's like this picture right here of like a lady with like she's weaving right there, and then she has her little rocking chair. It's kind of like painted on. It's like nicely done. End up going for $11. You probably can't see it from my video. All right, moving along. You keep seeing me sell this Resident Evil deck building game, Albert Wesker. I don't know a Robert. Albert Wesker card right here. This is going to be a promo. There's 3 different types of this promo. People like to add these cards to their games or board games. There's a ton of accessories like sleeves or upgraded components. There's also a lot of promos. They're just like kind of like more content for the game, and then also some people just collect everything of a game. So this ended up going for $12.79. I still have more, so I relisted that one. I don't put quantity on that specifically because I think there's not that many people have it listed, so I don't want to show someone like how much I have for 2 reasons. One, I'm very quick to make a lot of mistakes. I make a lot of mistakes, so I could probably count something 10 times and I'll get 10 different numbers. That's just how I am. So I don't want to put the wrong quantity and have someone come and buy a bunch and then there's issues. I've had that happen very early eBay days where I was doing quantity and stuff. And 2, I do want to make it look a little bit more rare. That is like if I have a bunch up there, I'll start getting like 50-cent offers, dollar offers, because they think I'm putting a bunch up there and that I want to get rid of them. But that is not the case. This is a good promo. I got lucky to get a bunch. So yeah, that's my reasoning. But there are other things I put quantity on. So it really depends on like what your strategy is. I wouldn't blame someone if they want to just put the quantity and not have to think about it. All right. Next up is going to be Toy Soldiers right here. Price guide. This is a hardcover book. This one's pretty cool, and I found it because I'm like, oh, I sell a bunch of this stuff. I was like thinking about reading it. But I was like, I don't really have time, but it probably would have had good information for me. But yeah, a bunch of different stuff about like the toy soldiers and stuff, and we sell that stuff all the time. Maybe slightly less than miniatures. This is more toys, which is technically like slightly different, kind of similar but different. Speaking of miniatures, right here, these are going to be called arms. These are going to be 1812 British Light Infantry, 1 out of 32 scale. These are like the army men size right here. People like to paint these up and they make little dioramas, or I've seen them do vlogs and stuff. That's how I was able to identify a bunch of these. Is a bunch of gentlemen have different like stories that they like to write about this stuff. Going to a repeat buyer, I'm sure they bought more of these before. $21.59. All right, moving along, we have this is a complete set of 25 Settlers of Catan development cards. This is one of the ways to get points in the game. It's a very classic board game. This is like early 2000s Monopoly. There's probably a bunch of people that know Monopoly that also know Settlers of Catan. There's a lot of people who just play Settlers of Catan after they got into like modern board games. This is now not as modern anymore, but these are the cards. One of the ways to win is to purchase these cards, and they'll have different victory points or abilities you can use. So it's just another route to win in this game. This is a complete set of like the deck of cards. So $7.25. It's pretty good. There are a ton of different editions of Settlers of Catan. So like the back and taking pictures of all that matters. So many editions of it. All right, moving along. Got these for free. Just the right shoe right here. This one's going to be like a tuxedo shoe. I don't know too much about these other than it was someone that collected, and they have like a really expensive actual shoe collection. And I think when they get the shoes, they get these like small little mock-ups with them. That's about as much as I know about it. They didn't want the small ones anymore, so they were going to throw them out. So we ended up taking the whole box of them. I was like, sure, I'll give them a try. And then like this one sold for $8. So it took me, I think, like one day of probably like 4 or 5 hours to list all of them, and I made a good amount of money from them and saved them from going to the trash. All right. Next up is going to be a lot of 2 HeroClix. War of the, what was it? War of the, I can't remember. I'm sorry. I have to click on my listing here. It was, I'm struggling. War of the Light. It's been a long time. These are a bit ago. These are the little objects right here. One of them is going to special objects, catapult. The other one's the crossbow right here. These are going to be like the Green Lantern like abilities and stuff that they can summon out of their rings. Special objects in the game. You have to spend points, I believe, to put them on the field, or some of them can go in characters. But I think you usually have to put them on the field, and then you have to roll a dice to pick them up, and they give your characters abilities. It might be like, oh, they can do super strength now. This one says right here that your character can now use telekinesis if you pick up the catapult. So $7.99. They're not too expensive like the special objects. I just list all the HeroClix stuff I have because I know someone's eventually going to want it. These are the things that I hope go into like a bulk purchase when someone's getting some other HeroClix stuff, but it's still nice to sell them on their own because they also paid shipping for these. These are also usually promotional items. You have to go to like a comic shop to play, and you usually get them as like participation, so that it's not like too hard to get, but you do have to show up somewhere physically or get them online. Next up is going to be, those are older ones. Like I said, War of the Light. I think that was like around when I stopped playing. I think it's been a long time. I played 2011 to 2013 ish, like around there. All right, moving along. We have, it's a bit ago. Doesn't seem like it for me. This is going to be the Sims Strategy Guidebook. This game was super classic. A lot of people just play The Sims. This is just the first one, strategy guide, like the basic strategy guide book. Sims is kind of like super iconic. I think it's like super complex now. I don't know where it's at. It's probably like riddled with microtransactions and stuff. But yeah, I remember playing the old school one, $10.39. All right. Speaking of the home decor, we got another sale for it. So I just thought it was super weird. A lot of this stuff are like in the similar section in my bin. So I told you guys before that like I'll have like a certain category, and a lot of that category will sell, or stuff similar in my bin, and then it will just like sell. It's super weird. I'll take it. Doesn't really matter. I don't have to try to figure out like how the things work, but I just thought it was interesting because like, these have been sitting for a while. This is a duck one where it has little hooks here that someone made that you put like keys on essentially. I mean, you could put lanyards, school IDs, driver's license, anything else, right? Maybe a small jacket, and then you like hang this up right over here. It needs to, oh, there's the other one. So really nice mallard duck. I remember this was a yard sale from someone who did photography specifically for like birds and stuff. So they had this like huge collection of random, anything from plushies. Like they were a bird fanatic. It was cool seeing all their stuff, and I think that's where we got this stuff. We picked up we cherry picked a couple of things. They were just like a collector and a collector of bird stuff, duck stuff, and then they were also a photographer in their life before they retired. So that was a cool yard sale. You never know who you're going to run into or what kind of collections and stuff people are selling. So I remember that. That's a cool one. Next up right here is going to be Buffy the Vampire Slayer trading card game. This is like a card that says, it's like an events card, and it has a bunch of rules on the front and on the back. It looked like it was some kind of promo card. I don't think many people had it listed. Someone sent me a message after they bought this. The person that bought it, they asked me, like, is there a foil version of this card? Where'd you get it? I said, I don't know if there's a foil version. I said, I got it in a collection with other cards. Like, I did. I don't even remember, like, what collection at this point, but I did get a bunch of Dead Card Game stuff all over the place. So I do forget sometimes. So that was $7 for that. Could not answer their questions, but it's not a big deal. They were like excited. Maybe they collect the Buffy the Vampire Slayer card game stuff, and that's going to complete something. All right, right here is Clive Cussler Serpent book, trade paperback. I'm not too sure. It's probably like a sci-fi book or maybe some kind of fantasy book. Pretty cool cover. I'll pick up like books that stand out to me occasionally. I don't really focus too much on looking them up. I don't know. I thought this one looked nice. This ended up going for $10, so I only also pick them up if they're relatively cheap. And then last thing right here is Extermination Strategy Guide book right here. I don't remember this game at all. It says PlayStation at the back. I did play less PlayStation. I did mostly 1 or 2, barely any 3, and then like almost, I don't think I've barely touched a PlayStation 4, but yeah, I'm not too sure. It looks like some kind of action game with maybe like some kind of experiments or alien monsters, and you're in like a winter, probably like a outpost or something. So $17.99. That one's going international. So yeah, pretty interesting stuff that sold today. It's the end of the week. It's Friday, so I hope everyone's having a good one. I am trying to figure out a way to. I do have someone that's asking me to do like a listing video to show people how I list, but I feel like it'd be boring. I literally just sit there all day and I just take pictures and then I just bag them up, put them in a bin, and that's just what I do for the whole time. So I'm trying to figure out if there's a way. No promises. I'm trying to set up my computer to do it. I think it'd be cool to do it live, like be listing live. But I'm very tech illiterate, so yeah, we'll see. I don't know. We'll see if I can figure it out. I'm gonna mess with it over the weekend, hopefully, if I have time. But I hope everyone's having a good one. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to help support us, take a look at our links down below.